Hey folks, it's Caleb, and I'm sitting in the very beautiful university library here. Thought I'd show you around a little bit. Anyways, okay, I'm going to try this new microphone setup. I hope it works. I saw a very interesting article regarding banks and gold purchases, and I thought I would relay it to you. It's from June 18th, so it's a good deal older, a few months old, but it's insightful nonetheless. And it's from CNN Money, and it's called Central Banks Join in Gold Rush. Basically says that foreign governments have been getting involved in the gold rush, driven by fears of the European debt crisis and, of course, the slow recovery or lack of recovery in the U.S. economy. And last year, 2009, central banks were net buyers of gold for the first time since 1997. India, China, Russia have been the biggest buyers, and recently Philippines and Kazakhstan have been getting involved in that too. The US dollar, of course, is usually the main reserve, and then the euro is a secondary reserve. However, gold is also a major reserve asset to central banks. And the precious metal plays an important role as a hedge against inflation because it can't be devalued by one particular country's economic policies. So the article states that the euro's debt, or the decline of the euro, went to 4-year lows earlier in June, and that means that investors went to safe haven assets or safer haven assets such as gold and even the US dollar for a while. So in the first quarter of 2010, Russia's central bank increased its gold reserves by 26.6 metric tons, and that was about $1.2 billion worth, according to the World Gold Council. Kazakhstan was the third largest buyer in 2010, the first quarter, purchasing 3.1 tons. It's about 137 million. And then the Philippines was the second largest buyer, purchasing 9.6 tons in the first quarter of 2010. So this article mentions that the Philippines purchases gold from domestic production to encourage local industry, but it also purchases gold on the foreign markets. And if you all remember that India bought 200 tons of gold in 2009, that was about $8.8 billion worth from the IMF, and that was November. And of course, China is considered kind of a stealth buyer of gold because China is the world's largest gold producer. And so China buys the gold from its own mines, and they don't have to report that on any sort of exchange or anything like that. And in April 2009, China did admit to having 454 tons, and that was a 76% increase since 2003. Of course, it doesn't want to reveal its gold stance too loudly, because it's also the world's largest holder of treasury bonds. China owns the United States. So it would, obviously, if it did tell the world how much gold it was obtaining on a yearly basis or how much gold it had, that could cause a significant loss of confidence in the dollar, and people would start probably dumping their bonds. And if that happened, China would lose a lot of money because they have a lot of money invested in all these bonds that the United States can never pay back. But that's another story. So I think it's interesting. This article demonstrates how you have central banks purchasing gold. And after gold was demonetized in 1971, I think it was, thanks to Richard Nixon, so many of the expert economists said, oh, well, now since gold is no longer considered money, it'll go to zero. It'll be basically worthless. That didn't happen, and it hasn't happened, and it still isn't happening. And what I find, of course, is ironic, and I've said before, if gold isn't worth anything, how come central banks are buying it up like crazy? And furthermore, if it's not really worth anything and it's useless to use as a money, obviously you can't eat gold, never mind the fact that you can't eat paper currency either. But anyways, no one should really want to have it for any purposes. And you see George Soros buying up large amounts of gold through ETFs, and I think even physical. There's just been some evidence that he's been buying through APMEX, physical metal. And of course he's famous for saying gold's the ultimate bubble. And so I think it's kind of interesting. You have these wealthy investors, and you have central banks buying up large amounts of gold. And many of these, but not all the investors, but many of these talking heads say, oh, it's junk, don't buy it. Am I the only one that catches the irony to that? Okay, yeah, invest your money in this paper, and we'll keep all this because it's too worthless for us to allow you to have it. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I hope you find this interesting and helpful, and stop by some other time. Have a nice day.